Hey team, welcome to the show. It is an incredibly gorgeous October day here in Portland, Oregon today. And I really love this season. The fall is one of my favorite seasons because it just has this new energy to it. This sort of, I don't know, like you're getting back into the groove of things. You're starting to feel some organizational energy. You are, feeling inspired. You're feeling motivated, feeling creative. And in Chinese medicine, the fall very much lines up with that. That season in Chinese medicine stands for all of those things. And so I'm just very much into this time of the year before it gets nuts with holidays and all of that. In this episode today, I want to talk about three of the most powerful words that I feel like leaders and people can use in their lives. And I'm thinking about this because partly because of this season, there is a lot of energy to create new things and just kind of like get back to work before the end of the year. And so I've been thinking about these three words that have the ability to really disarm people, to have all the defenses go down. They promote goodwill, they have people wanting to help you, they're empowering for ourselves, and they really have us being in the highest integrity that we can be in. These three words that I'm talking about, they make people look at you in a totally different light. And I think that if these words were used more often, especially at top levels of leadership or government, I think this world would be a totally different place in the best way possible. Those three words that I'm talking about are I am responsible. I am responsible. And I can imagine all of you listening to this being like, oh crap, here we go, ownership. This is not what I was hoping for. Hear me out though. When you take responsibility for something, it is truly one of the most powerful things you can do. And this is especially true in any kind of conflict. If you've made a mistake or you've done something wrong, whether it was intentional or not, those three words, I am responsible, immediately set you up to be in a place of solution energy rather than a place of problem energy. It takes you from a place of feeling stuck to a place of feeling possibility. And we've talked about solution energy and problem energy in a past episode, but just as a reminder, solution energy is high frequency emotions. So, emotions and feelings like acceptance, courage, goodwill, appreciation, gratitude, excitement, enthusiasm, creativity, generosity. Those are high frequency emotions that put you into a place where, in a position where you can get to solutions. And in contrast to that, problem energy is when you're in a place of low frequency emotions and feelings. Things like anger, frustration, blame, resentment, jealousy, comparison, hopelessness, sadness, shame, guilt. It often looks like criticizing, bitching, complaining, blaming, moaning, whining. And I want you to remember this one very important thing. You cannot get to a solution from a place of problem energy. It doesn't work. It's just not going to happen because they are two totally different frequencies of energy. So back to this idea of I am responsible. What happens when you say that you're responsible for something? Well, first of all, it implies that you are going to take full ownership of the thing. And we talk about ownership all the time. I truly believe it's the key to freedom in your life, taking radical ownership of everything that's in your sphere, your thoughts, beliefs, feelings, your behaviors. And you do this even if it's not your fault. And this is tough for people because this idea of fault brings up a lot of emotions. But it's very important for people, especially people who are in leadership roles, because being in leadership often requires that you take responsibility for things that might not be your fault. But by proxy, seeing as you're the leader of the team, it is your job to take responsibility for the thing, for the situation. And that's usually because truly, if you think about this, at some point, you are responsible for what happened somewhere down the line, whether it was the hire you made or the decision you made or the lack of decision or lack of communication. As a leader, whether you're the leader of a team, a company, a family, a friend group, it's really important to be able to say, I am responsible. Notice that the 3 words are not, it's my fault. That phrase has a very different energy to it. Because when we talk about fault, we often feel emotions attached to that, like shame or blame or guilt. And I'm not asking you to accept blame or fault for every circumstance. I'm asking you to take responsibility for it. People are very hesitant to take the fault for something because of what it implies and because of the way that other people respond to you when you are at fault. I mean, think about it. How does it feel for you when you say, it's my fault versus I'm responsible? Totally different energy, isn't it? Can you feel the difference? Now, obviously, there are times when it's my fault is appropriate, but there is a big distinction between the 2 phrases. And when it comes to getting into solution energy, which is always the goal, we aren't looking to get into those lower frequency feelings of shame or blame or guilt, whether it's you or other people who are responding to you. So instead of taking fault, we're looking to take responsibility. Whatever happened to lead to this situation might not have been your fault at all, but with radical ownership, if it's in your sphere, it does become your responsibility. And that's essentially what you're communicating to people when you say that phrase, I am responsible. Truly, team, this is a game changer. And if you don't believe me, start trying it in your relationships. Now, why does this matter? Because if we're thinking about how to have powerful impact in the world, people are going to more often trust and listen to other people that they know will take responsibility for things. Why? Because it's not inspiring to be around people who are always pointing the finger at someone else or something else. And it's not inspiring to be around someone who blames everything else all the time. That's actually one of the quickest ways to crush your impact. And here's the really crazy thing that happens. When you start using the phrase, I am responsible, it starts to shift the way that other people around you view responsibility. So all of a sudden, they feel like they have permission to step up and take responsibility for things as well. So they get to shuck the negative emotions of blame and shame and guilt that are associated with the phrase, it's my fault, and get into solution energy of I am responsible. This actually happened for one of my coaching clients recently because he started to use the phrase, I'm responsible. He would own it. He would even say, I'll take responsibility for that. So just an alteration, but it's sort of more active. And he was doing this in his work environment. And the result was crazy because within a week, he started having team members coming to him into his office, walking right up to his desk and saying they were responsible for things that had gone wrong. Before he even found out about them or ever had to approach anybody about it, his team members were coming up to him and claiming it and owning it. He said it was an absolute turnaround for the company morale because his team members felt like they had permission to make mistakes without getting reprimanded or get in trouble with the boss. And they also had a new sort of sense of autonomy and agency, which then gave them confidence to go out and find solutions on their own and remedy the situation way faster than it would have happened before. So you can see that there are ripple effects of you having powerful impact just by taking responsibility, and they start to happen pretty fast. So this week, my challenge to you is to start considering using the phrase, I am responsible, or I'll take responsibility for that. Try it out. See what happens in your family or with your colleagues, maybe in your friendships, whatever it might be. Try it out and see what that type of ownership can do for the quality of the impact that you're having and the quality of the relationships and connections that you're making. I'm excited to hear how it goes. You know how much I love radical ownership and how freeing I think it is. And this is just another step to unlocking another level of that ownership and that impact. So good luck with this week. Thank you for listening. And as always, thank you for being ready to impact. Thanks for listening to Impact Ready. I hope today's episode inspired you to own your impact and recognize that you are powerful. By elevating our energy and awareness, we can create exponential change in this life. If you enjoyed today's insights, share them with a friend and subscribe to the show for more. I truly appreciate you. Thanks again for being here.